What's going on, Gen Nation? This is Spartacris with the Generational Gaming and Entertainment Network, and I am here with my Theater Room episode 12. So what I've decided to do is on Tuesdays when I do this show, I'm going to put all my reviews and my announcements and recaps and any other like little information about some of the things that happened over the previous week will be in the same show, and that'll just kind of leave open a second or third show or different videos, for gaming or other kind of topics that I might want to talk about, reaction videos and stuff like that. I've been trying to come out with plenty of content. Keep an eye out on everyone else from the Generational Gaming and Entertainment Network, and you should start seeing more and more stuff flood the internet, if you will. And if you like this kind of stuff, please like and subscribe. I want to do this for everybody. I want to do it because it's fun for me, and I just kind of want to help anyone who's busy with families and kids. If you don't have time to kind of pay attention to what's going on out there, you come to me, and I'm going to try and help consolidate all that information so that you get it all in one spot. This week we got a good amount of things to talk about. So I'm going to start right off the bat with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 5. The episode came out on Friday. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to go into full spoilers. So, pause the video and come back after you've watched it. Excuse me. I apologize for any coughing, for the sound of my voice, all that stuff. Been fighting the cold for a little over a week now. I think I'm at the tail end of it, but, I'm going to try not to cough into the mic as much as possible. So this was a big episode for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This is what's called the penultimate episode, which is the episode before the finale. This is generally an episode where major things happen, specifically to kind of get the players in the right place for the finale. Starting with Game of Thrones, it started to become where the second to last episode of every season was the big episode, where all the big stuff happened, and the finale was where everyone kind of dealt with the situation that was left after the big battles and big moments. And it seems like Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision was similar, had a lot of big stuff happen in the second to last episode. But WandaVision had some major stuff happen in the last episode as well to kind of follow up, the second to last episode. I hope this is the same thing. I feel like they're kind of gearing up for another major showdown. But we did start this episode off with what you see pictured here. I think it's over here on this side. John Walker, the current Captain America, went hand-to-hand and toe-to-toe with Sam Wilson, the Falcon, and James Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. It was a 2-on-1 fight. It felt like almost like a redo of Captain America and Winter Soldier fighting Iron Man. But in this case, it was Falcon and Winter Soldier fighting Captain America, essentially. And, man, it was good. It was grittier. It was more brutal. It was a good start to the episode, especially with the way the last one ended, with John Walker killing that flag smasher in cold blood. I will say, and this is just my personal opinion, don't come at me if you don't agree, but I don't understand how John Walker was able to go toe-to-toe and almost win this fight. You have Sam, who has clearly learned from Captain America, from Steve Rogers, I should say, who, as far as we know, is the best hand-to-hand fighter out of the Avengers in all the movies, until Shang Chi, we'll get to that later. He's been training with him. He knows how to fight. This whole series, he's been able to, and even throughout the movies, he's been able to kind of hold his own and go toe-to-toe with people with superpowers. He does not have superpowers. He's not a super soldier. It's a major point of the whole show. He doesn't want the super soldier serum. He doesn't want to have superpowers. He doesn't want to be able to run and punch as fast as Steve or as Bucky. John Walker does have the super soldier serum. So I guess that balances out because you got Winter Soldier with the super soldier serum. But you have, again, Sam, who's been able to go toe-to-toe with all these super soldiers without the serum the entire show and generally come out unscathed. He's been able to kind of hold his own. And then you have Winter Soldier, Bucky, who spent years training as an assassin, who knows countless fighting styles, who's way more ruthless, 2-on-1. Now, I'm not saying that John Walker can't fight. He obviously earned he earned the right to be Captain America according to the government. He has the Medal of Recommendations. I'm not saying he can't hold his own, but he hasn't been fighting these kind of battles for very long. He hasn't had the super soldier serum in his system for very long. So he shouldn't be able to go toe-to-toe with these two guys. That fight should have been over, in my opinion, within minutes. There's no reason why it should have lasted that long, let alone John Walker almost winning. Now, having said that, I do think it was pretty badass that when he pulled the wings off of Falcon's pack. That was just a pretty baller moment, honestly, and I'm gonna give John Walker some credit there. I didn't like, how he had to growl out that he is Captain America. It was a little too on the nose with the power kind of overtaking him a little bit, but it was just a cool scene nonetheless. I did like, that Sam, after essentially breaking or dislocating John Walker's arm, Bucky had the shield in his hand and he gave it to Sam willingly. It kind of shows you, just like the whole season, he's not interested in becoming Captain America. And he also agrees and wants to believe that Steve was right with Sam being the new Captain America. By the end of the episode, it was a very strong and deep conversation to have. A very big moment to have Winter or James or Bucky, whatever you want to call him, apologize to Sam for not really considering what it might mean for a black person to be given the shield and be almost told that he has to be the new Captain America. I feel like this episode felt like a good natural conclusion to a lot of the racial issues that they've been going over, and a lot of like the Sam kind of dealing with the idea of being Captain America. And I'm glad that by the end of this episode, clearly he was ready to go. He practiced with the shield. He feels comfortable with the shield, and I'm looking forward to seeing him just fully embrace it in the next episode. Speaking of that, I'm looking forward to seeing what might be one of the coolest Captain America suits that we've seen yet. I believe the Wakandans basically made him his own Captain America suit, complete with new wings made out of vibranium, so they're maybe unbreakable or at least as close to it as possible. He has the shield, and I believe what I'm showing here is going to be what the Wakandans made for him, their version of this suit, and that's what we're going to see in the next episode. And I think this suit looks pretty cool, and I'm excited to see something a little more colorful. His suits have always been a little kind of blah to me, so I'm kind of pumped for this. Kind of going down the episode list, that's just kind of, so after John loses the shield and kills the Flag Smasher, he's officially stripped of the Captain America title. So I don't know what that means for Sam being Captain America. I mean, is Captain America something that you're supposed to be given, or is it something that you kind of just announce, I'm new Captain America? We would have the show has us believe that the government is basically assigning that name, but I guess in Steve Rogers' case, he was assigned the Captain America name, and he embraced it after he initially didn't really want the name. But I don't know that Sam wants to be called Captain America. I mean, he wants to be his own person. I think he almost wants to stay the Falcon. I don't know how he can do that because he left his old Falcon wings with his buddy Torres, and in the comic books, Torres becomes the new Falcon when Sam becomes Captain America. So who knows how that's gonna play out? I feel like they're gonna keep the Captain America title. So he's either gonna I don't know, find a way to essentially give it to himself, or the government's gonna come around and assign him as the new Captain America. I have a feeling that by the end of the next episode, in his new Captain America suit, he's going to stop the Flag Smashers, stop John Walker, and it's going to be very public, and it's almost going to be like the government is being forced into assigning him the Captain America name, which, it's fine by me if that's what they do. But, that's kind of a big deal, kind of a big lingering question going into the finale, and that's definitely going to be solved by the end of the finale. Another big moment after John Walker had the Captain America title taken away from him was the introduction of Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. So in the comic books, this character is kind of all over the place. She's been a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. She's double-crossed every person she's loved or worked with or, had a relationship with. So who knows where she's going to be in the shows. She does end up at one point revealing herself to be Madam Hydra. So in the show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., there was already a Madam Hydra. I'm not a huge fan in the MCU of them going back to the Hydra well. I would prefer if she maybe had her own organization maybe, or worked for her own organization that we don't know of yet. Or maybe it's a S.H.I.E.L.D. Kind of thing, or I'm not 100% sure what they're going to do with her. But keep in mind that Julia Louis-Dreyfus was supposed to make her first MCU appearance officially in Black Widow, and that came out. That's supposed to be coming out in July. So they had to reshuffle the movie release schedule I don't know if that means that she's gonna have a bigger part to play in the Black Widow movie, or if it's gonna be another quick cameo like this one was. But I do think that if the comic books are anything to go by, and due to another kind of moment in the show, I'm wondering if her overall goal is to build her own Avengers team, either her own Avengers team, maybe, and call them the Dark Avengers, or which is from the comic books, or the Thunderbolts, which is essentially the Marvel version of the Suicide Squad. She clearly is trying to recruit John Walker to be the leader of this group, to be their version of Captain America. It's just a matter of what the goal is. Is she a bad guy? Is she like the Viola Davis character, Amanda Waller from the Suicide Squad movie, and she is trying to do good but with bad people? Who knows? She is going to be a major part, though, of the show going forward. I don't think it's really been official that she's Madam Hydra in the MCU, but her character, Contessa Valentina, blah blah blah, does kind of reveal herself as Madam Hydra in the comics. So it's kind of almost seems a little obvious that's where she's going to go. But I guess we'll know more once the Black Widow movie comes out. And it doesn't mean that she's only going to appear in that movie. I mean, if she's basically like Nick Fury, but for a more villainous organization, she's probably going to be appearing a lot more often than we think. She's a big name actress to have for just a quick cameo and for one quick role, and that's it. So, we're going to see a lot more of her. I can promise you that. And the reason why I have a feeling, I keep talking about the Thunderbolts. I've talked about it in previous weeks. And this episode, Zemo, it seemed like he accepted his fate a little bit and was taken to the raft. And if we remember, the raft is being run by General Thunderbolt Ross. So for anyone who doesn't know, Thunderbolt Ross was the one that was basically trying to capture the Hulk. Then he is the one who, Tony Stark approached him and to talk to him about the Hulk becoming an Avenger. His whole deal in the Hulk movie was trying to develop a super soldier serum, which was exactly what made Steve Rogers, which is exactly what we dealt with in this show. He ended up using it on Emil Blonsky, which turned him into the Abomination. And just remember, Abomination is not dead. He is going to appear in the She-Hulk show with Thunderbolt Ross. So the character is coming back at some point. And in the comic books, Thunderbolt Ross develops a serum, I believe it's a serum, and turns himself into Red Hulk, and becomes a part of the Thunderbolts. So, it all kind of just lines up right now that Zemo is going to the raft. Thunderbolt Ross is there, and the whole point of the raft is to hold these superpowered villains so they can't escape. Now, we know the Avengers did escape because Steve Rogers helped them, but we've got to remember now, it's like all the pieces are coming into place to give us an idea of what might be happening in the future. The whole conversation, another big moment in the episode, there was a lot of talk online about how the show wasn't really going over race or dealing with race issues, and people were trying to find racial meanings where they didn't really exist. I think it's safe to say after this show that you're all wrong. Just based off the conversation that Sam had with Isaiah, with Bradley Isaiah, like that was just a flat out confirmation that the whole point of the show is America ready for a Black Captain America? Could they possibly embrace a Black Captain America? Now, I feel like they are. That's just my opinion. I do think by the end of the next episode, while Bradley Isaiah was still not, he still didn't believe that Sam could be a good Captain America or be accepted as Captain America. I have faith that by the end of the next episode, Sam's going to do enough or succeed in his mission and save enough people or whatever, what have you. And it's going to kind of, Isaiah Bradley's going to basically kind of come to him and give him his blessing and kind of say, like, you're basically doing what I could have done. And that'll just be a great way to kind of cap that storyline and put a cap on that whole issue for this show. So that's that could be a big moment, and I think it could be a big kind of full circle moment. Keep in mind also that Elijah Bradley, which was Isaiah Bradley's grandson, in the comics he does become a character named Patriot, so kind of like a young Captain America character. Gets some super soldier serum. I don't know what's going to happen in the show, but he is the grandson that's in the show. So they've already established his character. He could come back in a big way in another season, maybe. There's been a lot of rumors about another season. So we'll see. Another big question going into the finale is who is the power broker. I feel like it's safe to say at this point the power broker is Sharon Carter. The fact that in this episode she made a random call to Batroc, however you say his name, and essentially put him on a mission to go fight Sam. It's just kind of iffy. I don't know why she would send him after Sam, unless there's a different mission and it just makes it seem like she's sending him after Sam. But clearly she's got a lot of power, and the power broker is a big question. It just makes sense that it would be her. If they pull some random person out in like a last minute twist, I don't know if it's gonna feel right. But seeing George St. Pierre come back for another battle with the new Captain America, maybe with the Winter Soldier, which we haven't seen him fight yet, would be kind of awesome. So I'm glad he's coming back for the final. We talked about the Wakandan suit, which I'm, again, very pumped for. And then I do have, I thought it was a little silly. I do have a question, though, about the post-credit scene for anyone who missed it. John Walker is seen after the credits making his own Captain America shield, and I'm sure he's going to have his own suit. Which, he does have a suit and he goes on to be the U.S. agent in the comic books. I believe he creates the shield too, but like this shield is not made out of vibranium. What do you just find some scrap metal? Like, what's this really going to do? I mean, the vibranium is what made the shield special, not just a bunch of random metal spray painted like the Star Spangled Banner. So who knows, how that's going to play out. My hope is that he comes out with this shield. It looks like it's going to be a big fight. He throws the shield, and Sam kind of blocks it with his shield, and it just shatters into pieces. And that's it. Move on from there. He gets arrested. Those are all the big things from this episode. It was another solid episode. The fight scenes are awesome. Let me know if I missed anything. I think I kind of went over pretty much everything in detail, all the important stuff anyway. We do have the finale is this Friday, and this Friday is a big day. We're going to talk about that next. But this Friday is a big day, or we're going to talk about it soon, I should say. But yeah, let me know what you think, what you thought about the episode, and let me know what you think is going to happen in the finale in the comments, especially on the YouTube video. So the next show, my wife and I started and finished watching Ted Lasso. We started it over the weekend. It took us 2.5 days essentially to finish the whole show. Such a good show, kind of a heartwarming, happy show. A lot of positivity. It's not, it had its emotional moments, but overall, I would say it's 80% just making you smile and feel good, and 20% sad and emotional. Every show's got to have some sort of drama, right? Jason Sudeikis was great in the show. I'm glad he won an award for it. And they just today released the season 2 trailer. And season 2 is coming in, I believe, June or July. So you won't have to wait long for a continuation of the show. If you haven't watched it, it's on Apple TV. It's not a long show. They're 30-minute episodes. It's a quick moving show. It's a very funny show, and it's one of those shows that you have to kind of watch more than once because you miss a lot of the jokes just the first time through. And it's like one of those shows where as you get to know the characters, when you go back and watch it a second time, you're gonna laugh at some of the things they do in the background of a scene just because you know the character now and you know their attitude and their personality. It'll make you smile almost the whole time. 100% worth watching. Apple TV if you haven't watched it. Another big thing this week, this is a kind of an announcement and a review. Mythic Quest. So season 1 was 9 episodes. Then during the pandemic, they came out with a 10th episode where they were dealing with the pandemic and trying to code this game. And they just released an 11th episode. The 11th episode, it basically is them all coming back to work after all this time away from the office and how they deal with that. Some people, are nervous. Some people aren't. This episode has a lot to do with LARPing. I honestly felt like this may have been the best episode of the entire season for season 1. This was just an enjoyable episode. I don't know if it's because I just kind of I'm excited for the second season, which is coming in June also, or July, I think. But this was a good surprise. I got a notification that there was a new episode released. I watched it right away. It's a half hour. For anyone who likes It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, it's not as vulgar as that show, but you'll recognize a lot of the faces. And for anyone who hasn't heard of it, the show is essentially about a video game studio that operates and built a game called Mythic Quest. It's essentially like a big MMORPG, kind of like World of Warcraft, but it's one of the biggest ones out there. And it's just them dealing with. They have the main guy is Rob McElhaney. He's the one who created the idea of the game, and he's got a big ego and he's kind of self-absorbed. You have the people in the IT side, the content side, the coding, the game testers, the writers. Then the finance people the finance guy is played by Danny Prudy, who, if you're a fan of Community, you'll know who I'm talking about, Abed. So they have a lot of big names in there. It's a great show. And again, not a long show and not a very drama-filled, emotional show, but just an entertaining, funny show. And season 2 is coming. And season 2 is going to be dealing with the direct fallout of what happens in season 1, so it's worth watching. Again, it's on Apple TV, and you have 11 episodes now to watch, and they're all half-hour long. Another big thing this week that actually came out, I believe it was last Friday, was this movie. I haven't watched it yet. I definitely want to watch it. Called Nobody, with Saul Goodman himself. Bob Odenkirk plays the main character. The story is essentially he's some guy who's kind of gotten bored with his life. He just feels like he's going through the motions. He doesn't really have any problems. His wife loves him. They're all bored. His kids don't respect him. And then he gets robbed. And I don't know. I haven't watched the movie yet, so I don't know if he's has experience being like a hitman or what. But it's almost like a Death Wish kind of movie. It seems like, where he just decides enough is enough, and I'm gonna start tearing people apart. And it looks amazing. It's got a very John Wick kind of feel to it, but with maybe like a little bit of an older, more grittier kind of fight, and more of a violent kind of tone. Although John Wick is pretty violent. I've heard nothing but good things about it, but I haven't watched it yet. It's available to rent on Amazon Prime, and it's in theaters right now. So I'll be watching it over the next week or two, and I will let you guys know next week what I think about it. But I've heard nothing but good things. It's worth watching. And now the two biggest things for this week that I'm so excited for. This Friday, Mortal Kombat. The movie finally comes out. The first 7 minutes is out online if you want to watch it. I personally don't want to watch it. I want to avoid it and wait till I see the movie. But it just, I've heard all the early reviews are talking about how great it is. I haven't read any full, deep reviews yet. I cannot wait to see this. I hear nothing but good things. I know a lot. I have my questions about the amount of characters that are in the movie, about this guy Cole. I don't like that he's the main character. But the trailer I saw, I'm all in, and everything I've seen about it so far, I'm pumped and ready to go. It comes out this Friday, so everyone tune in. You can see it in theaters, or you can order it online. I believe it's on Amazon Prime as well. I'm sorry, not Amazon Prime, HBO Max. Pay for it if you have to. Watch, get HBO Max for the day. Go see it in theaters. We need to support this movie because it looks like it's finally going to be a good video game movie. It's a martial arts movie, which we don't get a ton of. And it's going to be brutal and violent, and I want sequels. I want to see more of the characters from the games, and I just want to see them branch out. It looks awesome. This Friday that comes out, so make sure you check it out so we can talk about it on Tuesday. And then the other big thing, Marvel's first martial arts movie. I put out a reaction to this trailer, Shang Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So a couple of things to know. I will do a deeper dive into the characters, but just a couple of things to know. It's a martial arts movie made with the MCU finesse, so it's definitely an ode to the Hong Kong action style martial arts films. You could see a lot of it even in the trailer. Good fight scenes, good camera work, but then you have the MCU visuals. The scene of him walking through the water and kind of like manipulating the water looks awesome. This is going to be a good freaking movie. I'm 100% already convinced it's going to be one of my favorites of the year. I'm so excited for this movie. Now, just as a connection to the rest of the MCU, the Ten Rings is the organization that kidnapped Tony Stark in Iron Man 1. Okay, now it was a terrorist group in the Middle East in that movie. Fast forward to Iron Man 3, and the Mandarin was marketed as the big bad guy. It turned out that the Mandarin was being just an actor that was playing the Mandarin for a different villain. But in the Thor: The Dark World DVD, there was something called a Marvel one-shot, which was essentially like an end credit scene that was just specifically for the DVDs, where the real Mandarin sent one of his people to interview Trevor Slattery, who was played by Ben Kingsley in Iron Man 3, and basically they wanted to introduce him to the real Mandarin, because the real Mandarin was not happy that someone was going around, throwing his name around. Excuse me. There was also a deleted scene in Ant-Man of someone trying to buy the not the Pym particle, but the I can't remember the bad guy's name now, but the anti-Pym particle. But in the deleted scene, you can see a tattoo on the guy's neck of the Ten Rings organization, which is what we're dealing with here. And the Mandarin runs that organization. Now, in the trailer, they reveal that the Mandarin is actually Shang-Chi's father, and he wants Shang-Chi to kind of take over the family business. I don't know how it all plays out in the movie, but it all just ties in together. It's just got the patented MCU Marvel like long-term thinking, long-term planning. It's, you know, I'm excited for this movie. This movie's not coming out till September, so we got time. We'll get another trailer at some point and probably some more information about the movie, but it just looks awesome. If you didn't see the reaction video, check it out. If you want to watch the trailer for yourself, by all means do it. Go get some comic books, read them. Learn about the Mandarin. Go watch Iron Man 3 if you want to just see what the Mandarin, everyone thought the Mandarin was going to look like. This movie just looks awesome. It looks amazing. The fight scenes look good. His stance at the end when he's just kind of like that's straight out of the comic books. I will admit that I'm not a huge fan of the costume. I wonder if they're going to change it in the movie. But in the comic books, his costume is very similar to Bruce Lee's yellow leotard kind of costume, but it's red and black. And I guess they, you know, obviously they didn't want to do that, and they gave him this almost like leather coat tunic kind of looking thing. For me, it's not the best, but when I see it in action, I'm sure I'll like it better. This guy is supposed to be the best martial artist in the MCU, hands down. No contest. And I'm talking, if you put him up against the Iron Fist, if you put him up against Steve Rogers, this guy is supposed to be the best fighter, cannot be beat hand to hand. So I don't know how closely Marvel's going to stick to that, but that's going to be a point of contention for Marvel fans if that's not the case. But that's the last big announcement for this week. Keep an eye out for future videos. And just another quick thing I want to say before I'm done. Resident Evil, there was a demo that came out on Friday. It's done now for PS5. The next demo comes out this weekend, I believe Friday also. And that one is going to let us explore the castle. From what I understand, the big vampire lady, she's 9'1", stalks the castle looking for you at all times. So essentially, when you're in the castle, you're avoiding her as you're trying to solve your puzzles and fight your enemies. It sounds like Mr. X is going to be around for a long time. The demo was awesome. Keep an eye out for videos of that. I'm going to be streaming all that stuff. Resident Evil 8 comes out May 7th. That's the full game, so I'll play the demos up until the game comes out. It looks like an amazing game, a good continuation from Resident Evil 7. I'm excited for that as well. In the video game world, and that's really it. I don't think I missed anything, but if I missed any announcements that you guys wanted to hear about, let me know. And keep an eye out for random videos coming up on YouTube and Twitch. Otherwise, I'll see you guys here on Tuesday and we'll talk about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier finale, and we'll talk about where the MCU is going to be going from here. We have a lot of stuff coming out this year, a lot of things being announced. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention also, the Flash movie is in production. Finally, they have a new logo and they're moving forward with it. You know, after the Snyder Cut, I'm excited for anything DC. I'll wait for the next one. Although I will, right now, I'm going to say it publicly, I don't want to see Aquaman 2 if Amber Heard's going to be in it. I just don't understand how we're still supporting this actress for what she did to Johnny Depp. That's just my opinion. Anyway, see you guys on Tuesday. GG. Keep an eye out for the rest of the Generational Gaming and Entertainment Network, and I'll see you guys later.